Welcome to Memphis, full of individuals that you can vibe to. Just don't be a snitch, that's all we ask you. Hello, my name is Crystal Gale, and I've had over 50 jobs in 10 years. In this series, I'm going to talk about these jobs. This video is about my experience as a server at Cracker Barrel. This is the first video in this series, so I'm still figuring stuff out. For instance, I'm not happy about the lighting and the camera position, but I am learning, so bear with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hi, y'all. Hi, everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain why I started working at Cracker Barrel. Why did I start working at Cracker Barrel? Well, I ran out of restaurants to work at this point. That's probably an exaggeration, but I feel like I've worked at every chain restaurant in the city of Memphis. Um, I always choose chain restaurants because I always feel like there's more structure in a chain restaurant as opposed to an independently owned restaurant. I always feel like an owner or a manager could just make up or do whatever they want to do on the fly. I always just like the structure of a chain restaurant. So I always worked in chain restaurants. And at this point, I've worked at a lot of chain restaurants in the city. And one of the last ones that I hadn't worked at yet was a Cracker Barrel. And also, they were hiring. They were always hiring. So I decided to apply. Before I started working at Cracker Barrel, I always hated like going up to and going in a Cracker Barrel, and I never could quite pinpoint why. Okay, so before you walk up to a Cracker Barrel, there's always a porch, right? Every Cracker Barrel has like this long wood porch, and on these porches they have these rocking chairs on the porches. Um, And on a nice day, there's always someone sitting on a rocking porch, just kind of rocking. You walk up these stairs, and there's always this kind of just hollow hardwood floor. And I don't know, whatever shoes you wear, it doesn't matter how soft the shoe is. You always hear this clank of the shoe against the hardwood floor. I don't know why, but I don't like that in a restaurant setting. I just don't. So you step up on the porch and you look around the porch, and there's always someone just kind of rocking on the porch. They're either waiting on someone or waiting on the rest of their party, or I don't know, waiting on the table to be available, or just sitting out there because it's a nice day. But every time I'm on the porch of a Cracker Barrel, I feel like I'm on the porch of Massa's house. Basically, I feel like I'm on the set of The Color Purple, and I always hated that feeling. So I step into a Cracker Barrel, right? Um, every time I step inside a Cracker Barrel, I feel like I'm in a hoarder's house. I feel like, I don't know, maybe Massa and his wife are hoarders. There's always this miscellaneous stuff just everywhere. Miscellaneous clothes, books, just different trinkets. I guess you have like tourist stuff. Just all this different things that just don't make sense in a restaurant to me. And it doesn't ever smell dusty, it doesn't ever look dusty, but with the amount of stuff everywhere, there's dust somewhere. And then you have you're still on this hardwood floor, and everything is so claustrophobic. There's no real layout of the stuff. You really feel like you're in a hoarder's house. And there's always a restroom nearby, and the restroom always has this squeaky door. So there's always these sounds of the squeaky door and your feet on this hollow hardwood floor. it's just I feel like I lose my appetite at that point. Yeah, it's just not fun. That was before I even started working at Cracker Barrel. So yeah, the application process at my Cracker Barrel. Um, when I went to my Cracker Barrel, there was a paper application. I filled out the application and I turned it in. And I received a phone call. They always have this 2 or 3 manager interview process. They want every manager to interview you so that every manager can kind of get a feel of okay, this is the person that we want to work here. And it's always nerve wracking, you know. I always like to walk in a restaurant, have one interview, and they say, okay, you either hired or you're not hired. But there it is, always a 2 to 3 interview process. And I passed all my interviews. I went through that. And so that was that. The dress code at Cracker Barrel. You have to wear a button down collared shirt. It has to have buttons and it has to have a collar. It has to be either white or a light color pastel color. Either a light yellow like this color, a light blue, a light pink, whatever color you want, as long as it's a light color and as long as it's a pastel color and as long as it has a collar and as long as it has buttons. It doesn't matter if it's long sleeve or a short sleeve, but if you have like tattoos on your arm, then you have to wear a long sleeve shirt. Even if it's hot, even if it's 90 degrees, even if it's the summertime, you have to wear a long sleeve shirt. I don't have any arm tattoos, so I never had that problem. To wear khaki pants, you have to wear a belt, and you have to wear closed-toed shoes that has a grip at the bottom. Basically, slip-resistant shoes. At every restaurant, you have to wear closed-toed, slip-resistant shoes, so that wasn't ever an issue. No sandals, no heels. Basically, a non-slip shoe. You have to wear an apron. When you first start out, they give you an apron that looks like this. And it says Rising Star. That means that you just started working there. That means that you just started, you're in your trial basis, and you kind of get the feel of if you want to work there, and the managers are getting a feel of if you're going to work out. And after that trial basis, and after they give you your review, then they give you an apron with your name on it. And you always start out with 1 star. Every manager review that you have and every test that you pass, then they give you more stars. And I think it goes up to 5 stars if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 4, but I think it's 5. I never got past 1 star. I didn't last that long. My experience working there. Okay. Every noise was triggering to me. So you have the noise of your feet on the hardwood floor. Then you have the squeaking of the bathroom doors. And also, they have these syrup bottles that are made of glass. And you have to carry these plastic trays. You know the plastic trays that you have in elementary school? It's those kind of plastic trays. And whenever you have these syrup bottles on the plastic trays, they make this like this rolling noise, and it clanks against the edges of the tray. It's always these horrible triggering noises. I think they played music there, but I always remember these noises. They never had these big trays where you can have like 8 to 10 plates on the tray. You can carry only 2 plates on these little trays. And they do that to encourage teamwork. So if you have a party table, basically if you have 4 people at a table, and if you have 8 to 10 plates of food, then you have to have your coworkers help you carry these food to your table. And so everyone's carrying these trays, and you have 2 plates per tray, and you go to the table, and there's, I don't know, 4 or 5 coworkers. Everyone's asking, okay, who has this food or who has this plate? And it's always confusing. I don't know why they don't allow these big trays so that you can carry it yourself, and you can just kind of set it down and you can pass it on to your own table. It's always a confusing process, and I've always hated it. Um, the Cracker Barrel hours, my local hours, they open at 7 a.m. and they close at 10 p.m. Working in the restaurant business, I've always liked to work the dinner shift, which starts at 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock, and it ends around 8, 9 to 10 o'clock. Cracker Barrel is always busier than the nighttime at Cracker Barrel, but because of the 2 plates per tray rule, I always prefer to work at night because it was slower, but you do make less money. And my hourly rate was $2.13 an hour, and you can't live on $2.13 an hour. So you depend on your tips. And the way you make tips is basically you have to be nice all the time, you have to be courteous. Some people don't know how to tip, so it's always an up and down in income. Why did I quit? Felt I always felt so bad when I started my shift. Okay, so you have on these uncomfortable collared shirts, and you have on these aprons that have your name blasted on it, and you're carrying around these plastic trays of food, and you're making $2.13 an hour. Basically, it is the most unsexiest, dirtiest feeling in the world, and you have to be nice to everyone in order to make some sort of income. But because I always felt so unsexy and so just dirty, and you have all these triggering noises of the hardwood floors, you have like the squeaking doors. It's just, I always just felt just worse every second that I worked there, and I couldn't take it anymore. I felt so so unsexy, and I did not like that feeling. So I had to stop working there. I couldn't take it. I knew in my next job I had to feel some kind of sexy. In my next job, I picked a sexy job, and I'm probably going to get into that in the next video. So that was my experience working at Cracker Barrel. I didn't like it very much at all. I always felt like I was in a master's house. Every noise was triggering to me. Every noise made me feel worse and worse. I think the noises was the worst part of the job, to be honest, for me. That's why I couldn't take it anymore. That's why I quit. So that's my experience working at Cracker Barrel. I hope this video was informative for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. And thank you for watching. So that was my experience at Cracker Barrel. Let me know in the comments below. Do you ever feel like you're in Master's house, or am I the only one? How do you feel about working there? How is it for you? And how do you feel about Cracker Barrel in general? I would love to hear from you. Until the next video, bye.